Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles, the SUVs, the dogs, life, attitudes. Good Tuesday morning there for all of those that tune in and watch my channel on a regular basis, and for anybody that's new that's tuning in on the morning conversation, thanks for tuning in, and I hope everybody's doing well. And as always, appreciate all the support. And those who share the channel, it's very nice of you. And it's always about a story, an adventure, a thought, a theme. Wow, beautiful day. Cool up here, though. I mean, it really is cool. So, but it's just a beautiful time of year. Come on, what's going on there, Scout? Hey, Scout! I don't know if they're eating in the driveway. It just doesn't end with the dogs and the challenges of keeping them all in line, which that's not so easy some days. But anyways, oh my goodness gracious, what a day. What a long day yesterday for me. You'll figure that all out once I kind of get more into the shop, as I chose to do a lot of things last night, which I didn't have to, but I did. So it's always me trying to figure out what word to choose, and that's the irony, what word to choose. Well, the word is choose. So for those who are watching my channel, yesterday was the sharing conversations, and today is going to be the choose conversations. Yeah, if you're really following my channel, got a leaky faucet, doesn't end on the things that get old. You ever notice that? As everything gets old, it just doesn't quite operate the same. It's really challenging. I'm gonna have to have that fixed. I'm going to go back here in a second and play with that as I sit here and walk around the shop. So yeah, if you're watching my channel, you'd be like, poof, where did all the motorcycles go? Right, poof. Yeah, that was a project. So for the guy behind the camera right now, Jesus Christ, man, it just doesn't end. It isn't easy being me. It's a lot of freaking work. I got to remember to get a light bulb for my light there. One person actually noticed that. And Kiefer's on the job today. He's gonna try to outmaneuver the ginger girl, which I don't like that, because here we are. He trying. Nope. We can't have you. Okay, go on, Ginger. Go on, because he likes to dominate it. Look how the birds are trying to set up shop here. Hey, stop it! Look how the birds trying to set up shop here. I mean, wow. It just doesn't. I mean, it's incredible. It's a barn. Trying to keep these birds out of here, but if you look up front here, it doesn't look too bad. It seems like this smoking. It's a lot of work to do that. Man, this water just won't turn off. I really need. That's so old. Can I do it? Can't get it to. Yeah, got a major problem here, don't I? Maybe it was the hot one. Yeah, but that's, you know how old that is? That's like 20. That's now like 22 years old. Even for me, that's hard to believe. Is that right? No, it's not. I think that's 2005. So that's actually 19 years old. So yeah, so I didn't turn on the lights. I'm confused. I'm out of control. But you know what? I was out in the shop here last night till 11:30, and but yeah, all the motorcycles have been put back in the trailer, and you see the truck and trailer out front there, and you're probably wondering what the heck's going on with the Iceman today. What's he choosing to do? And so once again, the word is choose or choice. I guess it's one and the same, however you want to pronounce it. And that's something about, I think they even have the Choice Awards for the kids, adults. What's that all about? I've never even watched it. So, and boy, if you're really watching what's going on, the St. Francis Key Bridge, or whatever it is, what is it, Francis Scott Key Bridge no longer exists. I'm sure most people on my channel are abreast to that major breaking news. But here is the Ford F450. Here is really one of my favorite motorcycle trailers, because it's an aluminum trailer I picked up for very cheap here a few years ago. I really lucked out. I've always wanted an aluminum trailer. I'm so lucky, because one of my favorite selling dealers, Trailer Enterprises, took this in on trade. So yesterday I took the time to get all the bikes out, get them in the trailers, and right now you're probably thinking, well, what the hell is in there? Well, the Lowrider ST and the new CVO ST. The new CVO ST, the battery, it's got a bad battery. So I'm going to take it back to the dealer, and tell them to put it on the battery test. They have to go through the program and to prove to Harley that the battery's bad before they give them a new battery for free, which is not free, but they replace it for me at no charge. And then the daughter's bike, I never got around to changing the oil and doing the first service on it. That bike now has over 1,100 miles on it. It's never had its first service. And the goal is Thursday to be rolling out of here. And with all the projects and other things going on in my life, to get that bike service and my other bike service. So with a glimmer of hope, I'm going to call a local Harley dealer and see if they can get this, if I can drop my bikes off today, and hopefully by tomorrow I can get them back. Or it'd be pretty cool if I took this out to Skyline Harley, which is actually the way I would be driving to go back to Tennessee. If they could get them in and get them fixed between now and Thursday, then Thursday I could just take the truck and trailer out and pick the bikes up and then just keep going down the road to Tennessee. And then, as you always, what's the choice? If you're me and if you're the kid, you say, what are you gonna drive? What do you choose? What's your choice of a vehicle to go to Tennessee? Well, right here, I think the F450 is perfect, even though for many be like, yeah, but that's such a wimpy trailer for such a big truck. But you know what? That truck is gonna get such great fuel mileage. So I took the choice to use the F450, even though I was really wanting to do like a tow review with the Ram TRX. But the kid loves this truck, and she really wants to drive it. But she was cool. Yesterday she was like, if you want to drive it and I drive something else, I don't have a problem with that. I just like for her to have the driving experience, and to have a few cars down there in Tennessee is always fun to kind of change it up. And the wife will then take a whole separate vehicle. She'll leave possibly Friday instead of Thursday because of her schedule. I'm not really sure on that. But we just always take 2-3 cars down, just kind of have the family fun. That's just the way we choose to do it. But anyways, so for this here, the F450 to me is perfect. The trailers match with the truck. And what would be really cool is just the fact that this truck will not be struggling to pull this trailer. So this should be a good conservative, I would think, 10 mile per gallon, if not 12 mile per gallon setup. And once again, it just isn't going to struggle. Because if you really watch my channel, you'll see I've done many tow videos with my trailers, different vehicles. Like the Bronco, I have towed with that, the other Bronco. And I think I towed with this Bronco. I just can't keep track. But I've towed with my Broncos and done a bunch of videos, but the fuel mileage sucks. And yeah, I know, I haul tail. I get up the road. So the fuel mileage just goes to really bad. But it's not a real long trip. It's got a 380 mile trip. So it's not that big a deal. The Ram TRX, I'd have been really intrigued to kind of take that just to see where the fuel mileage would go. Would that turn into like a 6-7 mile per gallon fuel range on just a very light trailer? Because the trailer probably weighs, I'm going to say about 2,000 pounds. You got the bikes in there. So I'd say there's 4,000 pounds of a trailer behind the truck. Is it 5? I don't think this trailer weighs 3,000 pounds. I could be wrong, but it's an aluminum trailer. Probably weighs in at 2,500. So I would say it's 4,500. Just to, I would say we're over 4,000 pounds on the truck and trailer. So that's a choice that I'm going to make, which I really like. And this morning, after I do my video and I get my business in order, hopefully I can make a phone call and one of the selling dealers around here can help me out, get the bikes all ready to go. I really want to ride my new CVST, but down there in Florida, I was very scared, very concerned that bike wouldn't start somewhere. I know I could buy a jumper pack, or whatever it may be to have it and jump it, but at the same time, we tried that Port Richey Harley, and that bike wouldn't start. So something's going on with that bike. It's kind of interesting. So once again, my goal is to take those to Tennessee. If one time I was telling daughter we should take 4 bikes down, and she's like, no way, it's not worth it. And I said to her, you're right, because we're only going to be down there a few days, so it just isn't worth all 4 bikes. And the Breakout here, which is such a cool bike, has a big old screw or something in the rear tire. That needs to be serviced as well, but when I get back in town, I'll worry about that. I was trying to get the kid to ride the Fast Johnny. I thought it'd be fun to take the 2 CVOs. I mean, that's a CVO for the most part, but this one's lighter. because it doesn't have the speakers, doesn't have the gas suspension. So that bike there is a little lighter than this bike here. And so once again, I kind of thought maybe the kid, but no, she just doesn't really, she loves her Lowrider ST. And she really does. And so I just, you know what? The kid loves the Lowrider ST. They just leave it. I mean, she wants the Street Glide ST. If we can find one of those, it's the right deal, which it just takes time. I think that's what'll transition for her next. And here is the Corvette back in the shop. And one thing for sure, I didn't want to leave these really nice cars outside in the environment, especially with me leaving town. So I really wanted to make sure that got things in order. And yeah, I've got a project on the front splitter. Carvana's going to fix that. So if you watch my channel, they have agreed to fix that. So I just have to take it to a local service center for them to do the work, but it's just about a schedule. And can I get that done before I get out of town? I doubt it. That's going to probably be next week's project or whatever. But the pollen hasn't set in yet, because typically now we'll start transitioning. It's just a heavy coating of all my cars. I do have the plastic bags back here, plastic covers way in the back there, which I think that I'll probably end up pulling out here before long and just cover all the bikes up, cover all the cars up, because it's a constant clean the vehicle. Otherwise, it's a constant having to wipe the cars down. I was saying the other day that I got my other Ice Age tag. Man, it came so fast. It's crazy. In Virginia, the tags are made very quickly. I took a 1 to make it look like a I. So now I have 2 of the cool cars with the Ice Age TV. I think somebody mentioned already on a post that you know my car looked goofy, gaudy with that sticker on it. But it's like, well, I don't disagree. But for me, it's just advertising. It's me trying to advertise my channel to help it grow. And when I'm out and about talking to people and they're with me, they can just take a picture of that sticker, and that way it just helps them remember. It's a challenge of remembering things. Now, record, I haven't put any on my motorcycles. I mean, I haven't gotten that gaudy, have I? Oh, I bought a little tea bag the other day for the Breakout, or not a tea bag, but a little front bag for the Breakout, just because I think it'd be kind of neat to be able to put my registration and a water bottle in there. Because you ride that thing, if you're not wearing a backpack or something else, you can do a fanny bag or a rear bag, whatever you call it. I mean, I kind of have one of those, but I just, you know, well, whatever. But the Breakout's so much fun. So if we're going to be down in Tennessee for like a week, then I would take down like 4 bikes. And the kid really was more on the page of riding the Indian down there, but I said, you know, I'm going to tell you straight up. Once you get down there, you're going to regret not bringing down a Lowrider ST. Because when you start that bike up, it is such the cool, it sounds so cool. I mean, it really does. And that's the thing. So the choices that we make, and that's what, and for anybody watching my channel, I think all of us would look at each other and say, it's beyond believable of how many choices you have now of buying things. I mean, when it just comes to these cars, and you spec out a car, like the other morning, I spec'd out a Ram TRX. You start spec'ing the damn thing out, it's just like, oh my gosh, it gets complicated. You have to become an expert at what you think will make sense in what you're going to buy. And if you're watching the Sunday Car Meet with Brent, who's a great subscriber of mine, great guy that has that Z06. If you watch that, he'll talk about the choice of him checking off the carbon ceramic brake package on Z06. If he could redo it, he would uncheck that box. Because if you watch my channel, he'll go into really great detail on how the brakes on that car, how you have to brake them in properly. It's, you know, it's a race car. I mean, those carbon ceramic brakes, when they're very hot, you know, that thing stops like on a magnet. I mean, just incredible braking power. So, but for him, it's too much of a nuisance in some ways to break those brakes in, correctly, and how you do that, and if you don't do it right. And so, anyways, it's the choice. And here's the Ram TRX. Those that know my channel know that I've gone back and forth so many times trying to buy a Ram TRX, to the point that I really just washed my hands from buying the Ram TRX after driving the Raptor R, which it's really neat that I just did a real basic Ram TRX drive around. Worked out of this yesterday. It's a really fun truck, but it's a lot of truck. And I was able to get at one point 14.8 miles per gallon out of this thing, which isn't too bad. I mean, that's pretty impressive. You're not getting into it, but it's really cool that a lot of other people out there watched this video and they weighed in their opinion. And it's really interesting to hear one guy after another totally agrees with what I was saying, because a lot of times you make channel and you make statements, a lot of people disagree with you, but it seems like more are agreeing with me than disagreeing that the Ram TRX, love the truck, but when it comes down to it, the Raptor R. So I heard that numerous times, that if you have a choice of what to buy, the Raptor R is actually the more fun truck. And those on my channel will point blank tell anybody that you read the comments from me driving that Raptor R here like 3 weeks ago at Ted Britt Ford. So many people on my channel reached out and said, I've never seen you so freaking happy and excited than ever before driving a vehicle. And so after driving that Raptor R, I really did come to closure that, you know what, I just really don't want the Ram TRX. I really don't want it, because the Raptor R ruined it. And that's what I've said for years about the Hellcat products. That years ago, these Hellcats with this 700 horsepower supercharged motor, it ruined it for the others of the fun factor back in the day. You know, back in 2015, 16, 17, I used to always talk about that. So the Ram TRX, it's really cool to hear others kind of be on the same page. And it's really nice is other individuals have both, or have now owned both, which that's a statement when they say, yeah, love the TRX, but the Raptor R. But what I tell people is this: if you're in the market for a really fun truck and you have a budget of under 100 grand, like 80 grand, I say that the Ram TRX wins. But I say if you're going to go buy a brand new Ram TRX, I think you've made a mistake and you should have bought a Raptor R. So that's how I was saying yesterday is, hey, whoever's out there watching my channel, the choice between the Raptor R or the TRX, if you have the big pocketbook and you can afford over the $100,000 vehicle, I would buy the Raptor R. If you have a budget, then I would buy the TRX, because you're not going to find a Raptor R for $80,000. It's not going to happen. I don't think you'll see a Raptor R. You may never see a Raptor R at $80,000, just because they're not as mass produced, and we're just coming down that stretch of all the different technology and blah, blah, blah. So could you see one maybe in the high 90s? It's possible, but I doubt it. I can't see it anytime soon, because those trucks are going to be 120 grand new, and but I could be wrong, but at the same time, I think you're a ways off on that. Look how long it took me to finally find a truck that I felt good about for the 80 grand. So the choice came down to me buying this, but the choice came down to the right financial institution choosing me to be able to buy it. That's a whole other story. Look at all the trucks. How many trucks do I have? I mean, what's the most dominant thing in my lot, my collection? It's trucks. I'm a truck guy. I'm sure some people are like, man, I would so reverse that and be having more of the cars and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I get it, but I just love trucks. The Trackhawk is, that's dead in the water. Even though I did have another angle on that, but I didn't feel good about that other angle. And my selling dealer was really wanting us to move forward in that. I just didn't feel good about that car. I like the car, but my choice, I think many others people voiced it so much on my channel, was no way. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. It's just too high a mileage a car. It's just too risky. But you can get the extended warranty for other things. But at the same time, I mean, come on. I'm having so much fun. And does it then ruin it? The danger of that is, does it ruin it? With me getting the Trackhawk, does that kind of make it more challenging to maybe get a Raptor R? Or the Ford Ranger Raptor I have an order. So, at some point, sometimes you got to be a little careful. Not saying I wouldn't buy a Trackhawk, but it just isn't meant to be. But then what's really interesting here is my selling dealer, Koons Baltimore Ford, they have a 2018 Jeep Trackhawk with like 43,000 miles on it That's the granite, the granite or whatever. It's like that silver dark color, and you know it looks okay. But the black Jeep Trackhawk looks so much nicer. But they have one, and I was just kind of like, wow, that's just crazy on how they have one. But it's more money. I mean, it's basically it'd be $7,000 more than what I don't know if it'd be 7. I think it'd be 5 at the end of the day. But at the same time, so here's the thing. So I called my guy yesterday and I said, hey, you're showing a freaking Trackhawk. And he's like, right. And I was like, what's type of shape is it in? He's like, well, it's in the shop. I mean, what do you mean it's a shop? He's like, it's getting service. Something's wrong with it. I'm like, oh, that's encouraging. He's got a check engine light on it or something. I'm like, what? I said, is he at your dealership? He's like, no. They took it back to the Jeep dealer. I'm like, yeah, whatever. That just doesn't sound meant to be. Even though I've always have wanted a Trackhawk, but do I really get hell bent on that, if you know what I mean? Versus, I'm sure some of you be like, man, if you could pull off a Raptor R, but I got the Ram TRX. I mean, in so many ways, I just feel like, why would I choose to now get a Raptor R when I've got a really nice 37, Ford Raptor here, which is a lot of fun. It really is. So, I mean, is it really? So, I don't know. I'm just the type of guy that sometimes I think people think I choose things and choose the wrong things, and I can get all that, but at the same time, I like to sit back and sometimes just evaluate what makes sense and doesn't. So, yeah, and I'm sure most people are like, yeah, you don't make sense, right? I get all that. So, back to the choice. I mean, for us as individuals, it's just incredible, especially for the younger generation. I mean, the kids today are so exposed to so many choices. I mean, I know everybody that's in my age group can so remember you didn't have a lot of choices when you're growing up. I mean, first thing is you maybe had 4 to 6 to 8 stations on your television that you were able to pick up. So this is no lie. When I first moved out here back in 1991, I'm not lying to you. I had the antenna inside the attic of that house there. Doesn't have per se an attic anymore because we renovated, raised the ceilings. But I had that good old aluminum arrow-looking antenna up in my attic to get TV reception here. That's no lie. We didn't have cable. We didn't have satellite dish, even like 1991. So for anybody who grew up in the 60s, 70s, it really wasn't until the 80s that the cable television came along. But the 60s, 70s generation, how did you get television? I mean, it was typically through these antennas and other things. And yeah, I know the cable, it started coming along in the late 70s, I guess. I can't keep track of it. But the point is, what choice did you have? I hear Kiefer upstairs, like he's eating something. Probably one of my, I can hear him. He's up to something. I mean, yeah, I'm scared to go up there and find out. Yeah, did he get a toy? Where the hell is his toy? Do I need to throw something up there right now to distract him? Probably. Oh, I do have a toy. I'm going to go find it right now. Here it is over here. You got a tennis ball for him. Yeah, people are like, don't give him a tennis ball. Are you kidding me? I can't keep this dog. I mean, I just can't. I mean, it's beyond unbelievable what this dog does. So I'm going to throw a ball up there because I think he's eating something in my office. He probably eating one of my shifters. So let's distract him here and see if we can get that out of the. So he has another choice, right? Stay there. Here, Keith. There you go. Chew that. Jeez Christ, right? The dog. I mean, it doesn't end. Doesn't end. So the choice for us, we didn't have all this technology. We didn't have all these. I mean, how many pairs of jeans were available to you? How many pairs of shoes were available to you? I mean, you can go through the list of what today's generation of choice. I mean, it's too many choices. I'm sure many people probably would have to agree that society has become overwhelmed with too much choice, where it gets too confusing. I mean, is that what's causing the confusion in the world like never seen? I truly think that we're starting to live in the most confusing times ever because it's just too many choices. But what's really interesting, though, is with all the choices that we have in society, we all get heck bent on being married to something. So there's some people who say those John Deere tractors are the biggest piece of junk in the world. I'd never own one of those things. I'm a Kubota guy. Or that Ford truck's the best damn thing ever, man. You ain't nothing gonna beat a Ford, man. You know, telling the guy in the Chevy or Ram, or vice versa, the Ram guy. I mean, you can go into, if you're a motorhead or Harley, those things are the biggest piece of junks in the world. Honda's the best thing you could ever buy, right? I mean, so people take the choice of buying things and then they become married to it and glued to it. I've already had people on the channel, Corvettes, they're a bucket of bolts. It's a piece of S, it's a piece of poop. I mean, I get those comments. I get the comments on the Hellcats, the Challengers, the Chargers. That thing, those things are junk, man. I would never. Or you got the person, oh my gosh, I only wish I could have one of those things. I mean, look at the Camaro. Is this thing so cool? Now here, I'm going to give you a dirty secret. I tell people all the time, I will never, ever own a collectible car. I never will. I mean, sincerely, I don't qualify. I don't qualify. I don't have the environment. And it isn't worth it. And so this is no lie, I turned on all my fans in my shop, and I even had the barn doors open, and I had equipment out here that I painted. And the color was yellow. I painted some stuff yellow and black. You can actually see here. Now, all these cars are seen in the garage. And every car here, if you go up to the paint and you look in the paint, you don't see any of that paint that I sprayed on any of these vehicles. So if you look into the paint and you go to each car, you go to this Camaro. This Camaro, this is the weirdest thing in the world. My daughter and I were cleaning this car last night. This Camaro now has yellow spray in its paint. Beyond believable. I don't know if you can see that. Beyond believable. I mean, it's like, why? Why did this car, what is it about this paint? So I have product to remove it, but it's a pain in the ass. I've already spent time removing, like I said, I don't know if you can see this yellow. I don't know if you can see it through this camera. But this car now is speckled on top of it. Basically, your spray can paint has sprinkles all over his car. Now, I do know a professional detailer can get that all off this paint. But beyond believable. Beyond believable. So that's why I told you, I was like, yeah, should I put a cover over this damn thing? I should have. But here's the question to the people in my YouTube channel. Why did the yellow get stuck into this paint? And once again, these are different color paints, but you go into like this. Here's a black back. This is black. Let's look back here. Maybe it's in here. And it's not. I mean, I don't see it. Maybe you guys see it through the camera. I'm not seeing it. And then on the hood, here's this hood here. And so why? Why did that car get the yellow Rust-Oleum or whatever overspray that floated in the shop? Even though I had all these fans, I got big fans back there, doors open, and nothing else got the paint in. So last night, you have no idea how many hours. I was like, beyond believable. Beyond. That's why I tell my daughter all the time, it's like, I will never ever own some high-end exotic or very rare. I won't do it. No way, man. I don't want it. You know why I don't want it? Because you can't. You just park it in your garage worse than what I do, and it just sits there. So if you're an investor, okay, I get it. I mean, sincerely, I get it. Now, if I bought this for an investment and I'm going to sit on it for 10 or 20 years, man, what a waste of time. I mean, sincerely, take $60,000 and 20 years ago. What's $60,000 today worth if you invested it right? If you did it right, probably $2-3 million. And that car, I mean, 20 years from now, what do you think that's going to bring in an auction? And with inflation, okay, let's just say it brings $500,000. I don't think it will, but what if it did? Whip-de-doo-dah. 20 years later, you know how old I am? Forget it, man. Who cares? So for me, like I tell people, if you watch my channel, yeah, I just choose not to do that. So so once again, Wow. You know how disappointed that I was when I saw it last night? Oh my gosh. Yeah, how stupid I was. But then it's like, okay, so why isn't my truck? Why aren't my other vehicles are parked out here? It makes no sense. Wonder why. I'd love to hear somebody's comment. Why is that paint? Why is that paint so? Why did that stuff get into that paint? I even had my Ford Raptor in this general area too. I haven't even looked at that. I mean, this is the dark colors. There's the birds crapping on the car. So does this have it? Can I see it now? Just looking there. No. This is just outside stuff floating around. So no. And I mean, I looked at my other cars. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Did I coat my cars? Yeah, thank God the Raptor truck wasn't here, right? Yeah, I know. Hey, I didn't say I was the smartest of the bunch. Never claimed that on my channel. So anyways, so it's a choice. So yeah, so now, you know, in today's world of choosing, what's, I mean, come on, we talk about this all the damn time. Who's not sick of hearing the damn conversation? I'm with you. Yeah, why are people choosing electric vehicles over gas vehicles? Why? Why are they doing it? I mean, why are they doing it? Because they believe, which I don't disagree, meaning that I know that there's things happening in our world, and I know the main theme of it is it's the carbon dioxide coming out of these cars, the carbon footprint. And what's really interesting is they have these new EPA mandates. Last week, the EPA came out with in some ways, less stringent guidelines. But I'm like, did you ever read the frickin', I mean, you see these, I just don't understand. People make comments, and even for me, I'm sure people watch my channel, it's like you kind of make comments, but that ain't really the facts. There's the wife heading out to work in the Jeep Grand Cherokee V8 gasoline engine motor, just for the record, not the V6. How many of those V8s are going to be around those Grand Cherokees, right? Yeah, so anyway, so the carbon dioxide, so they say like today, it's like 385 grams per mile, I believe, or something like that, of carbon footprint that's created out of these tailpipes of these cars. And each manufacturer has like a different fleet, like Dodge, Chrysler, they have like the worst, grams of carbon dioxide, but they want to get it down to like 85 grams or something like that. If you actually read the fine print in really a very short time frame. So you're talking about basically, like for Chrysler, it's like 385 down to 85. I mean, that's a huge difference in what's going to be required by them to meet the new EPA guidelines on fleet vehicles in the next like 5 years. Wow, how's that going to play out? Besides, they'll have but no choice to force down the consumer's throat to buy an electric vehicle. I mean, sincerely, without having to go back to paying the big penalties. I don't think most people realize that for the last 10 years, I've talked about it many times, but people have enriched Elon Musk because of us. We have created Elon Musk wealth. For all us Ice Age guys, we're the guys that have helped contribute to Elon Musk getting tax credits from all the manufacturers that aren't playing by the guidelines, the EPA, to work quicker to get these ice things to quit emitting and spewing carbon dioxide and try and force the hand to Elon Musk's business plan of all electric vehicles. It's kind of ironic if you think about it. On the one side, Elon Musk is becoming rich, and that's changed. So don't get me wrong. The big payday for Elon Musk is changing because all these manufacturers are now building electric vehicles, and things have changed on that. But the point is, for Elon Musk, it's kind of like, in one end, he's being rewarded for the Ice Age people, and he's had his own little ball game having electric vehicles. But at the same time, as these other manufacturers are being forced to be his more business model, electric vehicles, in the end, he's already witnessing on his own end that it's becoming more challenging to make profitable vehicles because more guys are getting into the business. And what's very interesting is Cattle, Contemporary Amperex Technology Limited out of China. I've talked a lot about them in my videos over the years. And, I could be wrong in my memory on this. And I know the Francis Scott Key Bridge thing is probably in a lot of people's memory this morning because of that tanker. If you watch that tanker, I'll change the subject here real quick, but if you watch that tanker or that big cargo, the Singapore cargo, look at that. So a bird has crapped on this car since last night, right here on the edge, on the back. You just can't, it doesn't end. The bird crap. The birds, what good do the birds do for us? I know, I hear you. So the ship that hit the Francis Scott Key Bridge or whatever, and Francis Scott Key, he was a poet, writer, author, and he wrote the Star Spangled Banner, if I'm correct, and he lived here in Frederick, Maryland. No God. I've driven my motorcycles and my cars over that bridge, so I know that bridge. I can remember driving over that bridge. That's freaky if you watch that. But if you watch that cargo ship that's from Singapore, you see that the ship loses power. And then it gains power. And then you see it lose power. And then it gains power. You can see smoke. If you really pay attention to the video, you'll see the smoke of the diesel coming off that boat like nothing's seen, a smokestack, where it's reversing its engines or direction, trying to avoid hitting that bridge. So now you got to wonder, was that a cybersecurity thing? Or did somebody hack that ship and turn off all the power to it? We don't know yet. It's too early in the ball game, but you got to wonder. I mean, you just have to start wondering, man. Where I've talked about this in my channel in a very subtle way is you just have to wonder how much longer this country can fight wars overseas and be a third-party intruder, and in the end, it's on our own shores. You just have to wonder. I mean, how much longer can we continue to do things to others that aren't on our domestic side? And don't get me wrong, I'm not wishing that by any means. I'm just saying, as us as individuals, the choices that this governing body that took over now close to, over 3 years ago, in the direction that this country has gone by the choice of X amount of people. I mean, I don't know about you, but do you really think the choice has been the right choice? I mean, sincerely? Why do people think that this country's in the right? I mean, I personally think the majority of people don't think this country's made the right choices. I think that's the real story. But back to cattle, Contemporary Amperex Technology Limited out of China, they're the main lithium iron phosphate battery manufacturer that's mastered making the majority of the batteries for these electric vehicles. And if I'm correct, and I could be wrong, but I think they came from the bankrupt company that Obama funded back in the 2008 or 9 for, if I've talked about this, I think it was Houston University or Texas University, a bunch of engineers figured out how to make these lithium ion or these phosphate batteries. They figured out how to make electric vehicle batteries and on how they created them to be more of a better designed battery, and that company could never prevail. It was before its time, and in the end, all the money it borrowed from the government, it couldn't survive, and by like 2010 or 11, it was forced into bankruptcy, and there was arguments among senators and congressmen of letting a foreign company actually buy that technology. There's a kid. And so that was a very, that was an argument among our congressmen and senators. And start reading reports, baby. I think he's eating something there upstairs too. So anyway, so it was an argument that our country was selling proprietary technology and in so many ways secrets. I don't think it is. But the whole point is, I believe cattle is the company that took that technology from our country, and now in the end, they're the most dominant player in the battery industry for electric vehicles. That is a fact. CATL, they're the most dominant battery manufacturer in China. They have buddied up with the Germans, the BMW, Mercedes-Benz. They buddied up with Ford in Michigan, where a lot of people don't like the idea that they're now going to be getting subsidized through Ford to build a battery factory up there in Michigan. And it's actually in some ways, a lot of the sitting congressmen, senators feel it's a really bad idea that we're letting China move into our own backyard just by using a domestic brand's name and to continue to enrich themselves. Even Elon Musk. Elon Musk is very heavy into relationship with cattle because he knows that they really have created the more efficient battery, and they know how to do it right. So the Chinese, and that's the thing. I think so many people would agree, and I talked about this years and years and years ago, that this whole EV agenda is just a transfer of wealth from the fossil fuel industry to the battery industry. That's all it is. That's what I've said for years and years, and I think most would agree that we're just going to see a transfer of wealth and dominance of the world powers. But the sad part is that China is the dominant EV manufacturer now in the world with all the technology, and with BYD, Build Your Dream, and then the list of all the different Chinese electric manufacturers out there. But the Chinese are going to become the world dominance of the energy sector, whether you want to accept it or not. I mean, that's where it's all going. So this whole country's position of the green agenda, but we all know that the irony to all that is China is one of the dirtier countries in the world. But yet we're, toe healing through this administration and other governing bodies' policies to enrich them, while we're sitting here and arguing among ourselves on what we choose to think is right versus wrong. Oh my goodness gracious, that's it. I think I'm going to call it. I'm not going to go up in the office. The kid's up there doing her thing. So I think I'm just going to kind of wrap it up here. And what are we doing next, right? Well, I just told you. We'll hopefully get out of here by Thursday. Hopefully we get some good riding time down in Tennessee. I haven't been down in Tennessee in ages. I've just been too many things on the agenda of this and that and whatever. Choices you make, right? The choices you make. I get all that. So kind of leave it at that. I'll put I have a good coffee cup. Where's all my good coffee cups, right? And so just kind of call it my morning face here. So as always, my Harley paraphernalia, because we're on the Harleys. If anybody's watching my channel, I'm sure. I think I lost subscribers because I went back to Harley. I really do. I think I've lost, there's no doubt in my mind. I think there's some key people that are Indian people that saw me separate myself from the Indian brand for the most part and went back to Harley. And I really believe that there's subscribers that used to reach out to me all the time that are gone because they don't like, and there you go. I was talking about choice. So see, there you go. So somebody's really belief is Indian is the superior product to Harley. And since now I'm more the Harley guy, I guess they don't really like me as much anymore. And I get all that. I understand, because I'm not talking to Indian brand anymore. You're not seeing the Indian motorcycle in my shop. I'm not bragging about Indian anymore. So I'm more about the Harley product now, which I really do like. I think they've stepped it up, and I'm enjoying the Harley product. So I just think that it's a choice you make, right? And I get all that. So I'm sure they're watching other subscribers that are more the Indian flair now, even though it's funny they have all these Indian rugs for what? To walk on them, because if you really watch my channel, you'll know that the Indian tribe says this is not acceptable for you to step on the head face or whatever you call it, the headdress. This is wrong. So Indian forced all its dealerships to take up all of the carpets that had any Indian logo on it, where people are walking on the Indian's face. Isn't that something? So for me, in many ways, I'm a disgrace to the Indian community now, because look how trashed. I've now taken the position to put all my stuff on the Indian stuff to, in some ways, dishonor it. Wow. Gee whiz, yikes. You bad man, Mr. Iceman. Why don't you put Ford rugs down? Yeah, why don't you do that? Yeah, I hear you. That's it. As always, thanks for watching my channel. Share the channel. Help it grow. The more my channel grows, the harder I'm going to work to make it even more fun. The channel doesn't grow, the less I'll work, and the less you'll see. I mean, I'm sincere on that. I'm just telling you. It's a lot of work, and if more people would share my channel and help it grow, I'm going to share the fun. I'm going to share the money. If I ever made lots of money, would I start getting creative and sharing the money? I would. But if the channel doesn't grow much, I'm like, whatever. So please subscribe, share the channel. And I really don't push it that much, but as I put more and more time into this and I am getting more subscribers, I'm just sharing with you, there's other people out there that have so many subscribers that listen to negative content day in, day out. And I guess they just love that stuff. So maybe reach out to me. Maybe I should just have more paranoia conversations, more scared conversations. I mean, it's beyond believable. And I say it all the time. And I know you guys are sick of hearing it, but it blows you away. It's the same freaking rhetoric every day these guys channel. The car market's over. The car market's over. The car market's over. The car, it's the same story. And these guys get 40, 50,000, 80, 100, 200,000 hits. These guys have bots. I mean, sincerely, do you think these people have bots? I know people pay people. I do know this. People do pay people to help their channel grow by creating, I guess, bots. And I had one guy reach out yesterday that said I'm not doing my channel right on how I have the picture of the content before the video starts and how I'm tagging it correctly. And I appreciate that for the gentleman that worked out. I take that to heart. And it's all about the creativity. And I know there's the thumbnails. And it's just about the time. It's about the time of me sitting down and creating a thumbnail just for this specific, morning conversation, to have it with a picture of me, next to my, so what would gain traction? A picture of my face with a yellow can of spray paint. I painted my Z28 Camaro yellow by accident, and that would probably pick up a lot of views. I get it. But at the same time, I didn't intentionally do that. So I just think it's, whatever. All right, that's it. Hey, everybody, have a great day. God bless. Stay safe.